hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Big Porky here. I thought I'd come downstairs because I wanted to get both of these in, and you can't fit them in office. It's I'm going into a big office there, but we've got bench press machine, preacher curls and punch bags and speedball and whatnot going to be going in there the next couple of weeks. So there's no room, but I'm going to use that as a production set, that as office for general things in general, and probably going to do a bit of filming every now and then down here. Now the vibe for this video is this, obviously. Look, what fight do you want to see next? What fight do you want to see, boys and girls and hardcore fans out there? Now I want to see all of them. I want to see Dillian Whyte. I want to see Joshua. I want to see Tyson Fury. You know, Wilder. I want to see them. That's what I want to see. There's 4 there. You could have, and you could throw in Ortiz and Joe Joyce. You could have a round robin, but who out them 6? Who out them 6 is fighting each other? Dillian Whyte has fought Joshua once, but that were at British level. Tyson's fought Wilder once. None of them have fought Ortiz apart from Wilder. So you've got to really say Wilder is the man, because he's fought Ortiz and he's fought Fury. He beat Ortiz and drew with Fury. The result were a draw. Now White's fought Joshua, Joshua's fought White, but that was ages ago. Since then, Joshua, who is he fighting? I've got a theory about that today, and I want you to listen to it. Now, I've just jotted a few things down here that's happened over the weekend, and it involves this scenario here, and a few other things. But I'm going to share this with you because inside I am raging inside. I am fuming with what we're being told. We're being lied to. We're being lied to constantly. 27 minutes. Why are we being lied to? Why? Why are we being lied to all the time? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it why we're being lied to. I just don't get it at all. I just don't get it. I'm fed up of being lied to myself. I'm fed up of people putting spin on things. You know, people like Adam Smith, Johnny Nelson. You know, they're wheeling these people out left, right and centre. Now, I sent a few texts over the weekend, and I sent them to pals in industry. And have you seen how many videos that Eddie Hearn has put out in the last 10 days on IFL? I'm not going to spoil it. Go and have a look how many videos Eddie Hearn and his dad, aka Bazza, who should be in a home, by the way. Barry, I'm getting worried about you. You need to be in a home. Now, these people have got no shame. They've got no shame whatsoever. They've got no shame. Where are they going? Where are these people going with these fighters? What are they telling us? What's the narrative? You've got 6 fighters here: Joshua, Wilder, Fury, White, Ortiz, and you've got Joe Joyce, Olympic gold medalist. It should have been, but he got a silver. You've got 6 guys there who are in the mix. Nobody else matters, right? Nobody else matters. Then you've got the next lot who are British level. Now, I put Joe Joyce in that mix for the simple reason that he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy to fight, and they're fast tracking him. His team are fast tracking him. Now, people can say, "Oh, you shouldn't put Joe Joyce in that mix." You can't put Joe Joyce in that mix. He's not fought anybody. Now, Joe Joyce, in my opinion, is the real deal. But even if you take Joe Joyce out of that mix, and you throw in Pulev instead of Joyce, right? So you put Pulev in, right? Pulev is mandatory. He'll fight Joshua this year, mark my words. I know what his team told me in Dennis in Bulgaria. Now, this is how I look at it. Do you know what? It's getting a bit cold, isn't it? I'm freezing all of a sudden. But, put heating on. Tight wad. Joe Joyce, right? He's the real deal, but Pulev will fight Joshua this year. But I've got all this spinning around in my head today, and it's got to a stage now where it's driving me insane. I can't even concentrate on my own stuff because of this. You know, I don't seem to have time for anybody. It's taking over my life. I'm that dedicated to the course. So I've jotted a few things down, and I'm going to put my take on it. First thing I've jotted down was Eddie Hearn. Why is Eddie Hearn wearing a cream coloured Crombie and talking that Essex gangster crap on IFL and brainwashing 8-year-old kids? Why is he doing that with that comb over? So he's talking about that muggy and cheeky Nando's and blah de blah, and I'm going to plot up in America. Plot up. Eddie, when you plot up, that's what gangsters do when they move in on another town. You are not a gangster, Eddie, going into America. You're not a gangster. Don't be coming out with words like plotting up, Eddie, because if you ever went to prison, you would get passed around like a piece of meat. If I ever saw you in prison, Eddie, and I were in prison, or if I were in prison and Peter Fury were in top cell on wing, on top landing, Peter would have you mopping out his cell. He'd be like, Russ, go get him down there and get him up here and tell him to mop my cell out and fetch me my Daily Mirror every morning with my dinner. And he would fetch it, let me tell you. He would fetch it. Now, like I said, I've got a theory on a few things. So let's back up a few years. Right? Let's start off where it all started off for Joshua. The Anthony Joshua story. Yeah, he was a bad kid, fighting, getting locked up, dealing drugs. We all know what happened. McCracken got him off at court, didn't he? Well done to McCracken. Because boxing wouldn't be where it is now without the AJ effect, would it? It's had a knock-on effect for everybody. It's had a knock-on effect for me. I'm nearly getting a living out of this. Not for mad money, I'm not, but things are happening. But let's look at, and it's a knock-on effect for everybody, so it's good, isn't it? But when we're being lied to, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people giving me utter crap. Now, Joshua, let's have a look at who he's fought. Now, we all know that he fought Dillian White, don't we? But we're coming off a long layoff. You know, he'd had a couple of wins or one win. Coming off a long layoff. He had a couple of fights, didn't he, cut on comeback trail. And then he got the Joshua fight. For the simple reason, they fought in amateurs and he beat him. Joshua wanted to avenge it. And avenge it he did, but he struggled in a couple of rounds, didn't he? But he won the fight. That Dillian White is not the same Dillian White. Now, they keep putting obstacles in front of Dillian White. Now, I'm worried that sometimes Dillian might... I'm worried that Dillian... I'm worried that he might trip up or get jobbed in one of these fights. Now, Joshua, since he's fought Dillian, he's fought Charlie Martin. Let's have a look at the Joshua CV. Charlie Martin, Boxing Magazine, the Ring Mag, the Bible of Boxing, said Charlie Martin was the worst ever world heavyweight champion in the history of boxing. The worst ever. I personally think it were Herbie Hyde. That's why Barry Hearn cashed him in. First defence to Riddick Bowe. But they won't cash Joshua in, will they? Sells more tickets. Now, Charlie Martin, first time he won world title. Shocking, terrible, everybody booed. Brazil. Dominic Brazil. I'm not even going to go into that. He was shocking, very, very poor. Eric Molina, Eddie's words. I've got a squeaky bum about this Coog, he's really up for it. Yeah, I'd be up for it getting a few million or whatever he got. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Shocking. Eric Molina, school teacher. Past his sell-by date. Vladimir Klitschko, an old man in his 42nd year. Like Molina were an old man. Takam, an old man, substitute. Povetkin. Povetkin's 40-year-old in September. He's 41 next year. He's an old man. He's just 40. He's 41 next year. Old man. Ali was 38 when he fought Larry Holmes. 41 next year. And he was in his 40th year when he fought Joshua. Old man. Parker. Yeah, he was undefeated, but he got the belt out of the dustbin. That belt was Tyson Fury's belt. Tyson Fury's belt. Not Joshua's belt. Joshua has not took a belt off a champion yet. What belt has Anthony Joshua got that he has took off a champion that he's got at the moment? Which of his world title belts has he took off a champion? The answer is 0. That's why the Ring magazine can't give him the ring belt, even though he's got 4 of the 5 belts. He is classed in the industry as a paper champion. And he's also hiding something that everybody keeps forgetting. And do you know what that is? What is Joshua hiding? We all know, don't we? He's hiding glass! So, that's just my opinion, I'm entitled to it. These fighters above, Martin, Molina, Parker, Takam, Povetkin, Vladimir, Brazil, 2, 4, 6, 7 fights there. Those 7 fighters are what's known in the boxing industry as hand-picked. They're hand-picked. Hand-picked. So, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Johnny Nelson's views on IFL were shocking regarding Joshua ducking situation. Is Johnny Nelson the most deluded man in world boxing? Is he? Is he the most deluded man in world boxing? Johnny Nelson, eh? Is he most deluded man? Eh? He's the most deluded man in world boxing. Not just boxing, world boxing. Plus, he's a hot dog as well, isn't he? Now, you know, there's a few things that upset me about the IFL's interview this week. There's Eddie Hearn sniffing around Triple G. I mean, is that good news for DAZN? You know, why is Eddie Hearn disrespecting the WBSS tournament that Kalle Sauerland's broke his back on? I mean, I've heard Kalle Sauerland's not all that impressed with Eddie, to be honest. Why is Eddie Hearn disrespecting Kalle Sauerland's tournament? Because he were alright when he was slipping his fighters in on it, wasn't he? But now he's got DAZN on board. He don't need Kalle Sauerland with that tournament, does he? But it were alright, well, Eddie Hearn were getting, you know, his cut from it all, with his fighters in it. You know, now it looks like he's going to need all his fighters for DAZN. So this is what I mean about people backstabbing people. And Eddie, I know you're watching this, or you probably got Frank Smith watching it. Eddie, if you've got some balls, come on channel. Or get your dad to come on channel. He's got a bit more savvy than you. Or get Frank Smith with the spots. Hashtag Oxy10. Get Frank Smith to come on here and I'll look him in front. I'll look him straight in the eye with my brick top glasses on, like that. And I'll tell him straight that these are jam jars. But one thing I did hear on one of them interviews today, I'm not sure if it was IFL or Seconds Out, was how Donald Trump still likes to watch boxing. Because Donald Trump he put a lot of money and time and effort into boxing when he were working with Don King in 80s. So, and I'm a big Trump fan. But what did cheese me off though was Adam Smith, aka Mr. Bean, aka the Spin Doctor, aka the creepiest man in boxing. That's what cheesed me off. That's what cheesed me off. Adam Smith. I hate it when they wash cars with dusters and they catch them on badgers. That's what Adam Smith cheeses me off. Adam Smith cheesed me off. Going on about AJ and Miller and what a great fight it is, and how Miller's from New York and he's got a big mouth and he's a big guy and he's undefeated. His best win is 42-year-old career light heavyweight Thomas Adamek. He probably get £100 away in weight. If you can't blow him away, he couldn't blow a balloon up. You know, some of the stuff that Adam Smith were coming out with, I know I'm going off trail a little bit, but I'll give him his dues. They did say they're not happy with some matchups, but where's that stable going now? Where's it going? What are they doing with Boazzi? What are they doing with Boazzi? He's had about the same fights as a Coley. But where's Boazzi going? There's something not right about him, you know. They're holding him back. We keep hearing him that he's this, he's that, he's blah-de-blah. When's he going to fight someone? I mean, I'm not bothered about a Coley, because as far as I'm concerned, he is #poo. I won't open my curtains to watch him. He was fighting on back garden. If a Coley had any balls, he'd step up to heavyweight. Because there's no there for him at cruiserweight. But then again, all belts are freed up now, aren't they? So Eddie's going to get another world champion. Big wow. But getting back to the rest of it, Eddie Hearn and Mr. Bean are going on about where the next pay-per-view star is. Where's the next pay-per-view star? And I don't see one. And I've got a theory that they might just be lowballing Dillian White. Because he's got a bit of pride about him, hasn't he, Dillian White? He's born in Jamaica, so he's a yardie, isn't he? He's got a bit of something about him, Dillian White. Dillian White's not going to let people take liberties with him, is he? He's not going to do it. I mean, he's got... Right. Dillian White has got people around him, like Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs, right? These people have been around the game years. They've seen it, done it, wore the t-shirt. Jimmy Tibbs fought on Ali against Henry Cooper's undercard at Highbury. They're not going to let... they're not going to let people take liberties with Dillian White, are they? They're not going to do it. And do you know why they're not going to do it? Because it's a business. And also, you've got to have a bit of pride about yourself, haven't they? I'm not talking about people around here who are in the boxing industry or be mates with you on a Monday, stab you back on a Tuesday, then want to be mates with you on a Wednesday. I don't work like that myself. If anybody does me a bad trick, they're gone unless they apologise. That's how I am. I've got something about myself, something in here. And I see that in Dillian White. He's not going to let anybody mug him off, is he? Eddie Hearn will stab you in back on a Wednesday, want to be your mate Thursday, stab you in back Friday. Come Sunday night, he'll want to ring up and work with you again. Because they're motivated by money. They've got no morals. The brass neck on them is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Listen, if Joshua goes to fight Miller, and it's not a done deal yet, but if they fight Miller in America, right, they're going to lose credibility. It'll be a commercial disaster. Do you think all these casual mongs that go to Wembley and Cardiff, do you think they're all going to get on an aeroplane? So out of these 80,000, 90,000 fans, how many do you think are actually going to say, let's fly to New York? How many are going to do it to fight a big blancmange? He's bigger than me. He's about 8 stone heavier than me, right? I'm about 15 and a half, yeah? He's 23 and a half clementines. I know I'm 5'10", what's he, about 6'2", 6'3"? He's same height as Callum Smith, but Callum Smith can do 168. Walks around at 182. The guy's huge. Listen. Who's going to get on a plane to see Joshua knock Miller out inside 3 rounds? Who's going to do that? And why is Dave Caldwell doing interviews saying Joshua's in trouble if Miller could take a punch? Are you kidding me? Penfold? Unbelievable. If they go to USA, it's because they're scared to death. They're scared to death. They're frightened to put it on at Wembley. Because you know what? The tables have turned, haven't they? Tyson Fury is now the man, isn't he? In the country for heavyweight boxing. He's the man now. And it's up to them to get on with it. Now we're told that Joshua can sell out arenas fighting Kugan Cassius or a dustbin man. Oh, he just sells out. We could put him on versus TBA and it'll sell out. Well, if you fight Miller, why do you need to go to America? You've got Wembley booked. Fight at Wembley. Cheesing me off. 21 minutes, 8 minutes. Listen, we were told ages ago the UK is where it's at. Why do we need to fight Wilder in America? The UK where it's at, baby. Eddie Earn's words. Not Porky Russ's. Eddie Earn's words. The UK is where it's at. I look after my fans. They can't be affording to fly to New York to see me fight in America. It's too much for my fans to bear. I want it in London where I'm from so my fans can afford it. Be humble. But it don't look like it's going to go that way, does it? You never know, they could fight Dillian White, it still could happen, but all roads look like they're going to be pointing to Butterbean. Butterbean with a sunbed, isn't he? Jarrell Miller is Butterbean with an hair transplant and a sunbed and a big mouth. How on earth are they going to write a script for this? Well, the script's already started, hasn't it? You've got Miller on boxing scene doing interviews saying, I'm going to knock Joshua out and then I'm going to take his mama out. There's your script. The script is being written. That's how they're going to work it. He's going to be the bad guy, the mouthy yank. Joshua's going to go over there as Florence Nightingale, sticking up for everybody who's got a mum. He's insulted my mum, I want to kill him. Oh my God. Get with the program. Hashtag stay humble. Hashtag be humble. Listen, if Miller and Joshua fight in America, what's happened is Tyson Fury, he's sent Joshua packing, hasn't he? Get out of that country. You're an embarrassment. You've let every Englishman down. You've been offered 50 million to fight Wilder and your arse fell out. Get on that plane and get to America. Nobody else, of course, who's been involved in drugs and crime and been in prison, nobody I know can get a visa. Tony Sims can't get one. I can't get one. Peter Fury can't get one. There's other people who can't get one, whose names I'm not going to mention, who I know in the boxing industry. Listen, this is how I look at it, right? I'm tired, I've been up all night. This is how I look at it. The only chance, right? The only chance that Miller has got of beating Joshua is 2 chances. He's got 2 chances of beating him, and do you know what they are? Slim and none. And Slim's on remand in Wormwood Scrubs. It's unbelievable. How much more can I take of this? How much more can I take of this soap opera? It's a soap opera, isn't it? On IFL now. It's a soap opera with about 10 or 12 characters that do all the views. And all the rest of them are just extras, aren't they? You know, Jake Paul against Craig Richards done about 1,000 views on it. But Frank already do 100, 200,000, don't they? Dillian White, Saunders, Joshua Wilder, you know, all them sort of people. Everybody else is an extra. It's like when you put Dallas on. JR and Bobby and Pam and all the rest of them, Cliff Barnes, they get all the film, don't they? All the TV. And all the extras who are in the background, we don't tune in to see a man walking by, do we? With a dog having a pee up a lamppost. We tune in to see JR and Bobby and Pam bouncing up and down, don't we? And Sue Ellen. That's what we watch Dallas for, a soap opera. We don't watch it for extras, do we? The extras they're just in the film, aren't they, playing their little part? Just like all us lot. Take the 10 or 12 main players from social media, boxing would be dead, wouldn't it? It's like snooker. We only wanted to see Steve Davis, Jimmy White, didn't we? But they had to have other people with them, didn't they? You know, Steve Davis were dominating, but he couldn't do anything without Alex Higgins, could he? And we all want to see Jimmy White, don't we? Because we like Jimmy White, don't we? Take Jimmy White. It's like Ronnie O'Sullivan. Take Ronnie O'Sullivan out snooker, Barry Earn will be slashing his wrist, won't he? Now, getting back to this here. The first 2 minutes of the interview with Rob Tebbett on Boxing Social, Mr. Bean, aka the Spin Doctor, aka Adam Smith, he said, and I quote, "We need these narratives, we need these scripts." What does he mean by that, Adam Smith? We need these narratives, we need these scripts. What do you mean, Mr. Bean? What the f is going on? Script? Are they mugging me off with these narratives and scripts? Is that what's going on? Is that what's going on? They're mugging me off? Swear to God, honestly. Unbelievable. I'm fuming. Actually fuming. But Eddie Earn saying Dave Allen and Brown could headline a Sky regular show, non-pay-per-view. Well, good. I hope Dave gets a few quid out of the job. What happened to we're going to have a world title on every show in UK on a Saturday night Sky regular. When was the last time that Sky had a world title in the UK with a UK-born fighter that's male on a Saturday night non-pay-per-view? Do your own work, see if you can find that out. I bet Dale Nichols is the first one to tell me that. There's some homework there for your hardcore fans. Send me that in to porky'scorner@mail.com. First person to send me that in an email, and I'll check it up and it's true, I'll look after you. Now, have a look. This is going to go out in one video anyway, so I'm just going to click this now. Oh. Right, Eddie Earn saying, I've just done that bit, Anna. Alan Brown. What happened to the We Will Have Work? Yeah, yes, on DAZN, not Sky. Yeah, unless you count Katie Taylor as a title fight, but fans don't tune in to see her. Yeah, we've gone by all that and we've just discussed all that. 35. Is White versus Povetkin a pay-per-view? Dillian White against Povetkin. I don't think that's a pay-per-view. But they've created this pay-per-view character, Dillian White, now, and he does good numbers, so you're going to have to let him have pay-per-view. Because if Eubank against DeGale is pay-per-view, Dillian White against Povetkin is. What I think you've got at the moment here is this. Dillian White needs a dance partner for pay-per-view, doesn't he? Joshua don't. Dillian needs a good dance partner. You can't put him in with somebody crap like that Malcolm Tan. You've got to give him Povetkin, haven't you? Somebody who gold medal Olympian, ex-world champion heavyweight. So yeah, you could say that's pay-per-view. Dillian, if he fights on April 20th, that's the same night Amir Khan against Crawford. So they'll Dillian pay-per-view, and then you'll get Khan Crawford pay-per-view. Fair enough. So it's like half a pay-per-view, innit? He's sharing it with Khan. Then you'll have Joshua against Miller in June, And underneath that you probably have Kell Brook against Liam Smith. They'll do like a dual pay-per-view. One in England, then on to America. Great night of boxing. And then you'll have Adam Smith like this, won't you? Like this. Exciting times ahead. Exciting times ahead. This is why we love this sport so much. What do you think, Johnny? Exciting times ahead. That's the bullshit they're going to be feeding us, isn't it? Dillian Whyte against Povetkin's not a bad fight. Dillian Whyte against Brazil, it's not as good a fight. Dillian smashes Brazil to bits. Dillian Whyte against Ortiz, now that is a great fight. I noticed that nobody mentions Luis Ortiz, do they? Why don't they mention Luis Ortiz? The guy's WBA interim champion, he was #1 ranked, you know, he's only been beat by Wilder and he'll win it fight. He's a southpaw, he's slick, he's a Cuban, ex-Olympian. Nobody mentions Dillian Whyte, nobody mentions Joe Joyce. Why not? Why does nobody mention them? I'll tell you why not. Because they can knock you out. Now, is it true Povetkin had a pay-per-view Plan B deal with Sky and Hearn? That's from David in Rotherham. I don't know. Probably. Whenever anybody goes on a pay-per-view show with Eddie Hearn, they always have a contract, a backup plan, don't they? Even if you're on undercard. For example, David Price, he got on an Eddie Hearn show against Povetkin, didn't he? But he was promised verbally he could have another date. So now he's just saying, I want to be in some great fights and now I can't beat the top guys. And I feel sorry for David Price because he's a nice guy. And I was a Pricey fan back in the day. But I always wanted Tyson Fury to fight him myself and knock him out, which he probably would have done, wouldn't he? Or boxed his ears off. As I've just said to you about the Povetkin White, if it happens, or Brazil White, you're going to have Khan Crawford on a joint dual pay-per-view in 2 different continents. But what about Ortiz? You know, Luis Ortiz and Joe Joyce. You know, Luis Ortiz is an hard fight. Let's back up a little bit. Anthony Joshua were in the same stable as Luis Ortiz, and he wouldn't mention his name. He didn't even want to spar him. Whenever anybody's name were mentioned next to Joshua's, Ortiz, Eddie Hearn shut him down. I know a guy, he shall remain nameless because he gets on with Eddie now, but he used to put it on Eddie all the time about Ortiz. Eddie, you signed Ortiz, when's he going to fight Joshua? And this is what Eddie used to do. Let me catch you in a bit, I've just got to see somebody. And he would always going like that, jogging on. Because he didn't want to face him, did he? He didn't want to face him. And I can understand that. I can understand that. Now, yet again the spin doctor Adam Smith is saying 3 to 4 days for news on Joshua. Total mess, Russell. Yeah, I agree with that. Adam Smith said that on Thursday, 3 to 4 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But he said it last Saturday. So that's going to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 9 days, but he said 3 to 4 before. They said that again. 2 weeks ago, Eddie said, we've got news on Joshua. Look, Dillian Whyte's jogged him on. Get over it, Eddie. Get over it. Anyway, I've been having trouble sleeping of late, so I'm going to rush home in a minute and put an Andre Ward Greatest Hits compilation on YouTube, Russ. What do you think? Mark in Wolverhampton. Well, whenever I'm at the pub, if ever I'm rushing home, it's for a 10 PM pay-per-view, because you can't concentrate in pub, can you? And if you go out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, come 10 o'clock you just want to shoot home, don't you? People don't say, quick, hurry up, drink up, we're going to go home for an Andre Ward, it's an Andre Ward fight. No, I see what you mean, mate. I take it you're being sarcastic with that, Marcus. But, yeah. Shout out to Bullseye. Cheers for de-icer and Magic Trees. Shout out to Tea Leaf Company Brighton. Justin, how you doing, Justin? Shout out to Terry Fox. How you doing, Terry? Wrote the book about Jack Turpin. Randolph Turpin's brother. Thank you for your kind words in your email, Terry. You're a top man. All the best. See, I don't forget people, do I? Shout out to Zach Evans. How you doing, Zach? You've got my number. Give me a ring. We'll get you on channel this week. Right, Wiseern done over 26 interviews in a week, Russ, in America and England on the heavyweight division, yet other guys are going about their business quietly. That's from a woman called Sophie, but she didn't say where she's from. If you're going to send emails in, try and tell me where you're from, because I like to say so and so and so and so from so and so area. So it like puts you to an area, doesn't it? I don't just say, oh, it's some random from whatever. I like to, so. Well, the reason they've done 26 interviews, it's actually more over 2 weeks, it's about 30. And that's just counting boxing, social and IFL, innit, and seconds out. If you go across the board, they've probably done over 80 or 100. Each boxer does about 40 interviews per media day, on average about 40. So if they're doing 40, Eddie's going to do 40. And Eddie's first and in and last and out. And he is a grafter, but all he's doing is talking. He's not grafting, is he, as in graft? But I'm going to call this video the Anthony Joshua Great British Bake Off. No, not Bake Off. The Anthony Joshua Great British Con. Does that sound good? What do you think, NJ? The Anthony Joshua Great British Robbery. Can't call it robbery. Or the Great Casual Robbery. I'll think of something before I go home later. I'll think of something. But I mean, what I want to know, right, is why nobody's making a stand. Nobody's asking the right questions. There's only me asking what's going on, isn't there, really? There's only me going against the status quo, innit? I'm going against the establishment, aren't I? Because Matchroom are the establishment. Now, all them boxers, they all stand next to Eddie Hearn. Because he's like the bank manager, innit? And they're all boxers, managers, and blah-de-blah. They're all going to Eddie Hearn, aren't they, for a loan? Now, if you're in a good position, you don't need a loan off him, do you? But if you want to work in boxing industry, you've got to backslap him, haven't you? You've got to suck up. You've got to stand there, and Eddie's doing his talking, and boxers are just stood there, aren't they, like that? They're like that, aren't they? Majority of them just nodding dogs. Nobody dare say a word. No managers. 90% of them daren't say boo to Eddie Hearn. They daren't say it because they want to get paid, and I can understand that. But at least Dillian White, people like that are standing up for themselves. But why ain't anybody asking the proper questions? Them direct messages that he sent Eddie Chambers, I saw them, and they all didn't get put on social media. I saw the lot of them. I also saw the ones about Robert Mugabe's misunderstood. What? Slaughtering whole villages of people. Does that make you misunderstood? Or tweet or direct messaging Eddie Chambers saying you're the superior black race. If Tyson Fury would have said the superior white race, they would have been hell on, wouldn't they? He would have got hammered. Why ain't nobody doing anything about it? Why ain't they? Why ain't nobody doing it? The guy's a fraud. Anthony Joshua's real name isn't even Anthony Joshua. If you go look on Wikipedia, it's not even his proper name. His belts are not even off the champion. He's a fraud. He's not even enrolled in RADA. He won't even enroll in all-round year testing. Why is that? Why is it nobody in Matchroom has ever failed a drug test? Why is that? Why isn't Joshua setting an example with all this drug tests? You've got Tony Bellew screaming it from the rafters. All drug cheats should be shot. So Povetkin's a drug cheat, but yet he was in all year round testing, wasn't he? Why ain't Joshua having testing? Why does he have to go to Dubai after a fight? What's all that about? Because Dubai tourism fly him over there. He's on a free jolly, isn't he? He's in that 7-star big sail hotel on freebie. It's not good. Why ain't anybody asking him about why he's a walking billboard? Why is he saying he doesn't fight for money? At the press conference for Parker, he said, I don't fight for money. But yet all these fights that are not happening, Wilder, White, Fury, are all about money. Every single one of them is about money. Every single one of them isn't happening because of spondoolies. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's utter wrong. Why ain't nobody asking them about StubHub? 500 tickets a day going on StubHub. Why isn't nobody asking them why they put pay-per-view up to 20 quid? Why isn't nobody asking Frank Smith why he's going around whispering in people's ears at Sky, him and Eddie Hearn, saying if Tyson Fury or Wilder fight Joshua, they're going to put it up to 25 quid. I told everybody about the 20 quid one and nobody believed me. They all said, now Porky, they'll keep it at 17 quid. 20 quid it is. Now they're on about putting it up to 25, costing all you casuals. You're killing the sport I love. Killing it. "12 minutes. Right. Sky say it's a good thing for fighters to step up a weight class at 5 days' notice. Will the British Boxing Board of Control be having a word with Adam Smith and his team at Sky and Matchroom for bragging off, saying it's a good thing to step up a weight class at 5 days' notice? How is that a good thing? Putting somebody in an higher weight class at 5 days' notice just so you can get a fight out? How's that a good thing? What were fine when they sat Lee Purdy in a sauna in New York, Barry Hearn and Lee Purdy and Eddie Hearn. Shows you what he knows about the sport, bragging off about it on IFL. My old man was sat in a sauna with him. They're doing what they want. What are the board going to do about this? What is Robert Smith going to do about this? Robert Smith, you helmet, what are you going to do about this? They're riding roughshod over the sport. Do you know when Joshua's knocked out and done, and they've gone over ill with all the millions, do you think Matchroom are going to be involved in boxing? Do you think they're going to want to deal with all the rest and everybody else when they've been dealing with Joshua for 6 or 7 years, or 10 years, or whatever long he reigns, however long they can milk it? Do you think they're going to want to go back to Ted Cheeseman against Garcia rematch at Copperbox? Do you think they wanted to deal with that after they've been dealing with these big $1 million fights? They're going to go. They're going to do what they did after Chris Eubank got beat by Collins. They're going to go. Or they're going to leave everybody else to pick the pieces up. You know, you've got... When I look at them, this is how I look at them, right? You've got Eddie Hearn, educated at Brentwood. We all know he got kicked out of school, don't we? We all know who we bullied, don't we, to get kicked out of school. I'm not going to say person's name on here, but we all know what happened. Now, Eddie Hearn then went into golf, didn't he? Then he fell on his lap, didn't it, boxing. Now, Audley Harrison, Darren Barker, Kell Brook, Frotch, they were first 4 signings. Eddie Hearn goes round telling people, doesn't he, what he thinks. Fair enough. When it comes down to it, when he's on his own, he's a big shivering streak of, that's what he is, on his own. But you're not going to get near him, he's got security all the time, isn't he? But, you know, I know what happened when Dennis put it on his toes in Atlantic City at IBF convention. He was sliding in one. Sliding. Now, I look at Eddie Hearn and I look at Al Heyman. Bob Arum's not going to be around much longer. Don King's already finished. Barry Hearn's finished. He's shot to bits, isn't he? His memory's gone. He goes fishing all day, doesn't he? With his mate Jez Harden. He's gone loop the loop, Bazza. But I like Bazza. He's got a bit about him. He's got something about him. He's got more about him than Eddie. But I look at it and I think it's going to be Al Heyman and Eddie. They're going to get at it for the next 15, 20 years. If Eddie's got staying power, which he might do because he probably takes Viagra. Now, I look at Al Heyman, Harvard educated, dad was a clergyman, his mother an accountant. He don't brag about anything in interviews, he doesn't disclose fighters' purses. Then you've got Eddie Hearn, he goes on IFL, he wants to make it about himself, he brags off non-stop about fighters' purses, what money he's generating, blah de blah. He's a loudmouth, isn't he? He's smoke, he's a loudmouth, he's got a dodgy hair transplant, he's an accountant's son, he's had a good upbringing, he's had it on his lap. You don't hear Al Heyman turn around and say, cheeky Nando's, that's a muggy Tom Ford coat, innit? What's your favourite crisps? And Bob's your uncle, apples and pears. He don't give it all that. When have you heard Al Heyman do an interview? But if he did, would you ever hear him going on about, well, do you know what I mean, Coogan? I think frazzles are better than pickled onion Monster Munch. If I'm in a frazzle kind of mood. What on earth is that all about? Put a good show on, Eddie, I'll send you a box of frazzles again. I think I sent you one before, didn't I, where it pickled onion Monster Munch. Eddie, I didn't do it as a mate, I was taking Mickey out you when I sent them. You won't believe what I did to them crisps before I posted them to you. Right. A Coley. He won, didn't he? But who cares about a Coley? Would you open your curtains in the morning if a Coley were having it with your next door neighbour on your garden? You'd shut curtains, wouldn't you? Now, I had to laugh over there because I heard Frank Smith going around bragging about how good Copper Box is, but had Matchroom got a show lined up at Copper Box? But when Frank Warren were at the Copper Box, they slagged it off, didn't they? Be humble. Frank Smith, stay humble. Not Frank Smith at Bury, Frank Smith at Brentwood. Frank with the spots, Smith. Now, Jake Ball needs to retire. Ted Cheeseman, he's probably going to end up fed to some yank now on DAZN. But I like Ted Cheeseman, I like him a lot. I think there's something about him I like. He's no way on earth would he ready for that Garcia, but I like him. I think Fowler against Fitzgerald's a good fight, but how's Fowler Fitzgerald going to be headlining a Sky show? That shows you how weak stable they've got. Fowler against Fitzgerald headlining, come on. Cheeseman shouldn't have been in with Garcia really, should he? His record's not that good, but he's won a British, but I think they rushed him. It was probably a year too early. I mean, I can understand Dare to be great and that, and I can't really hammer him for it because it was a brave matchmaking. And that's what you want to see, but they've had to do that, haven't they? But they don't seem to be doing it with Boazzi, do they? If they can do that to Ted Cheeseman, why don't they do it with Boazzi? Why don't they go pay Anthony Yard what he needs and put him in with Boazzi, because they're not going to do, are they? Another thing I want to bring up, why is the EIS lottery funded setup got Matchroom fighters there on a daily basis? I was over here a couple of weeks ago. A Coley were there, Boazzi were there, Joshua were there, Eddie Hearn were there. You know, there were Charlie Edwards there. Why are these kids up there making full use of facilities? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? McCracken's the man up there, isn't he? He's a Matchroom man, isn't he? But I don't think it's fair and all the rest of boxers in the country. So I know boxers who live around here, they don't get to use the facilities. Nicky Smedley, Chris Smedley's son, and his mate, his brother Luke, they were there. And Joshua walked up to him and said, what are you doing in here? They told him to F off. So that's what they said, you don't own this. You know what I mean? And Joshua tried to get them thrown out. Grass. But it is what it is, isn't it? They've got the rule of they've got the monopoly on all the facilities up there. That is a lottery funded building. It's not for professional fighters. It's for amateur boxers in the GB team. Or a lot of them that go there, they were there at GB team, but why can't Peter Fury take Savannah Marshall up there? Why not? Because McCracken's not going to have it, innit? Because it doesn't benefit him or his relationship with Matchroom. So I'm going off Robert McCracken, to be honest. Things I hear and things I don't like. So I'm going off him. But it is what it is, isn't it? So, like I said, is it okay if Dennis Hobson sends Tommy Frank down there for a couple of weeks just to use all facilities? Tommy Frank fights for the Commonwealth title March 15th at Ponds 4, Dennis Hobson's show. Be there, because I'll be there. I'm urging all you hardcores, come to Dennis's show and have a drink with Porky. All you lovers and haters, you're all welcome to come and see me on the night. I won't be signing autographs, or I might do odd selfies, but I'm not into all that. Ernan White on IFL was a win for White, who looks to me like he's cheesed off. Yeah, I saw Barry Hearn and Dillian on IFL. I also saw Eddie Hearn and Dillian on IFL. Barry Hearn says that Joshua will rule until 2027 and that they're playing the end game. Yeah, but you're not going to get away with it for another 7 or 8 years, Bazzer, are you? Boxing don't work like that. Now the experts, these are the people in the city who, not me, but people around me, know people in the city of London. They're saying that Eddie Hearn and his dad, they deal in dollars. They're saying that if Joshua can have a run at this stage until 2027, that Eddie Hearn and his dad, they estimate with the DAZN deal and everything else that they will net bank $250 million in the next 8 years. $250 million net. That's after everything. Now that kind of money is for the generation after generation after generation after generation. You could just mess about with property. You wouldn't need an ulcer from darting all over the world dealing with boxing, would you? You could just go into property business, couldn't you? So you've got to give Eddie and Barry Hearn the dues, right place, right time. They've got good business models, and I respect that, but I don't like being lied to, and I don't like people peeing up my back. I'm a paying fan. I pay my subscription fees. That goes for Warren as well. He's been getting away with it years. It's only cost boots on other foot that he's not happy. But I actually think that Warren's got a little bit more about him than Eddie, and I think he will come out on top eventually. But by that stage, he'll be long gone, won't he, Hearn? Long gone. Yeah, boxing's big business, isn't it? They're going to have it off, aren't they? But it's like the tweet that Joshua put out, innit? I want to be a billionaire. Joshua put that out. I want to be a billionaire. He might make it. But what about your fans? What about be humble, stay humble? I don't know, but it is what it is, isn't it? So, I think we're coming to end now. Oh, the Joshua poll. The Joshua poll. Why Miller at USA and not Wilder? Because Miller's an easier fight. More money for Wilder, harder fight. Less money for Miller, easier fight. They'll get Miller on cheap though, won't they, with DAZN calling shots. But are DAZN calling the shots? Are they saying to Eddie Hearn, listen, these numbers are not good. We need Joshua in America. And that's what I think. Because I think Eddie is caught between a rock and a hard place. So I'm going to give him benefit of doubt. He seems to get it from all ears, doesn't he? But he's thick-skinned enough, isn't he? So you've got to give him his dues. But Dillian said his bit to Eddie, didn't he? But I thought that Dillian White, I thought he melted a bit in his interview with Barry Hearn. But the Anthony Joshua poll on social media, 89% want him to fight Wilder or Tyson Fury. 11% want him to fight Dillian White. No percent want him to fight Jarrell Miller. Who is he going to fight? Well, they're all saying Jarrell Miller. But like I said, Joshua says he don't box for cash. He boxes for legacy. So, if Joshua boxes for legacy, I'm a Chinaman. So, it is what it is, isn't it? Shout out to Kovalev beating Alvarez. Well done to Kovalev. You've got to fight him again though now. Andre Ward, you're an helmet. You need to stop going on about Carl Froch, or you'll be getting a clump next time he sees you. Because he won't mess about with you. Anybody who slags Carl off, he always catches up with him in, and trust me, he will clump you. He'll probably be in a toilet at an hotel or an arena, so zip your mouth, Ward. Same as a few other people who are slagging Carl off. Carl Froch will catch up with you. He's got a long memory, let me tell you. Anyway, peace out. Keep on trucking. I'm going to take this for a test drive now. I might treat me kid's mum. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Not bad. Not bad. See if we can get me at good books, eh? So, peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. It's a great, great sport. It's a great sport, and who knows? I might go and interview Eddie Hearn one day, and if not, I'll have to go find him one day and get in close. What do you reckon? But peace out. Keep on trucking. And shout out to Justin at the Tea Leaf Company. Shout out to K Official. You've been brilliant with me, I will never forget. Shout out to Rico, my close friend. Nice to speak to you at weekend, Rico. March 15th, Dennis's show, Ponsford. If you're going to come, Rico, you and Frank. Frank Smith from Bury, that is, not Frank Smith from Brentwood. March 15th, all you hardcores, get to Dennis's show at Ponsford in Sheffield and come and support Tommy Franks. Local kid, small old show, but it's going to be on TV on Free Sports, Channel 95, Freeview. So if you can't get to the show, watch it on TV and get Dennis a bonus with viewing figures. So, because we've all got to try, haven't we? We've all got to try. So we've all got to try and get a few quid, haven't we? But I'll be there ringside. We're looking forward to it. So, peace out. Keep on trucking.